Good morning once again. It's Sunday, it's early. Just thought I'd pop out, squeeze in a couple of hours in the woods to try and find something nice to eat. I've been in the woods about 10 minutes. I've already picked a little fly, a garrick, which I'm going to take home and I'm going to put it in a pot. I'm going to see if I can grow it indoors just for a bit of fun, something for the kids to watch, I suppose. Well, not watch, because it'll take a while, but you know, something to look at. I've got a Lexinum scabrum, which is a brown birch bolete, and I'll see if I can show you that later if I think about it. But I've also just found a really large sep penny bun. Not terrible condition. I'll see what it's like when I get home and start cutting it up, because it might be that it's a bit shit, but fuck it, it's a whopper, so it still looks reasonably, feels quite firm and heavy, so that's quite a good sign. So I'm going to pop that in my bag and I'm going to carry on and see if I can find any more of those. I'll switch the camera back on if I do. I thought I'd try and show you one in the actual ground, because normally I get so excited when I find them, I just pick them straight away without really having a look at them in situ. So here is the penny bun in all its glory, so you can really see why it gets that name, because it really does look like a bread roll. But that's hopefully quite a nice one. I'm going to pick that now. Let's just have a look. Have a look. I can do it on camera, mightn't I? So it feels really firm. It's really good. So I'm going to just clear away some of the debris. Now some people say you should cut them at the base with a knife and remove them that way, and leave some of the stem or the stipe in the ground attached to the mycelium underneath. But there's been studies that show that it doesn't make any difference whether you cut or you pull, basically. So I prefer to pull, because I think you get more meat that way, to be honest. So I'm just going to gently work it out a bit, because it's in there quite firmly. Let's try and get that out. Oh, right. Have a look, see. So there she is. That is alright. There's a few little nibbles in there, but nothing too stressful. Good size, nice and firm. Not gone too yellow underneath, so as long as I get that in the dryer, or hanging up to dry fairly rapidly, that'd be good. And you see what I mean by picking. When you get, as long as you clean that mud off, there's a lot more sort of mushroom there to eat. So fuck it, pick the fuckers, because it's just. And also, by picking mushrooms, there's quite a few that you really need to look. Well, you know, you need to look at the very bottom base of the mushroom to determine what it actually is, because they have different shapes, and some grow from like an egg sac called a vulva. Some are sort of club shaped, some taper downwards to sort of almost like a root or a spike. And these are all identification factors that you kind of, you know, you need to be, I guess, at least moderately aware of. Obviously, alongside any other ID factors as well that you might need to be looking for. But yeah, I think you should always pick. It doesn't actually affect the mycelium underneath the ground as well. People liken it to picking an apple from a tree. So this is the fruit. The mycelium underneath is the tree. And we're all good. We're happy days. So I'm going to keep on and see if I can get a couple more of these before I fuck off to another location. Wee. And I'll literally just turn my back around. Growing just behind me, where I've just picked that large one. I love it when I find them this size. Nice and small, firm. And when you cut them, you slice them and you get really nice mushroom shaped slices, which always look nice in a dish. So yeah, That's a nice little one there, nice little piggy. So happy days. I think I picked a good day. Looks good, looks good. All right, one more, because it's, look how long it is. It's an absolutely lovely penny bun, and you can see it's so obvious why they call it the penny bun, because it honestly, it's, when you see them in the wood, it just looks like someone's dropped a bread roll on the floor, and that's why they're called a penny bun. Oh my god. And that is a really nice example, nice and clean, really long stem on this boy. I mean, look at that, fucking schlong of a stem. So I'm happy today, it's going well. Well, this is another quite exciting find, I suppose. And being as I've never actually found this mushroom in this woods before. I mean, I find them, but at another place where I know they grow in huge numbers. And once you find one, you start looking around and you find shitloads more. And that is these little, very well camouflaged mushrooms. And these are winter chanterelles, and they're really nice. They're gourmet edible. They're really good to eat. They go great in pretty much any dish you can think of. And the beauty is that when you do find them, like I say, you keep looking, and you keep looking, and the more you look, the more you seem to find. There doesn't appear to be too many here, but yeah, I've never found them here before, so that's quite exciting for me. So happy days. So I'll tell you what I'll do. While I've got you on the video, I might as well pull one out and you can have a look at it a bit better. So this is your winter chanterelle. To try and get it in focus a little bit. So also called yellow legs. As you can see, they have a nice yellow, sort of golden yellow stem, and this very well camouflaged brown motley cap, which honestly just blends in so well with the ground. I mean, you would just walk over that, you wouldn't even know it was there. But yeah, these are a great mushroom, so I'm going to take some of these home. Yeah, lovely stuff. Winter chanterelle. Trying to think of the actual name. I think it's Cantharellus tubiformis, if my memory serves. But yeah, keep an eye out for those any time from now. But what is it now? Middle of October. So now all the way through the sort of January. If you come across these, you'll come across a fucking shitload of them. Sometimes you find so many you just get bored of picking them. But yeah, so good one to make a note of, and I'm going to bag a couple of those. Lovely stuff. Right, I'm done in this patch of woods for the day, I think. Been here about an hour and a half. I've got a fair few seps in my bag. I mean, I came across shitloads of them, but unfortunately, the vast majority were infected with a secondary, I think it's called a secondary fungus. They call it the bolete eater. I don't know what the actual name of it is, but it basically makes them look all white and pale and powdery, and they just go to mush, and it's like they just go mouldy really quickly, basically. So you can't really pick them. So yeah, quite a lot like that, unfortunately, today. But a few good ones still. And just to correct myself, I did say that the winter chanterelle was Cantharellus tubiformis. It's not. It's Craterellus tubiformis. So I was nearly there. My memory's shot to fucking buggery these days. I'm getting old. And but yeah, so just on my way out now. I'm going to go to one more place, I think, today. See if I can't find me something else to eat. So See you over there. Different woods now. So yeah, left the last one. I did all right over there. Got some really nice seps over there. So that's I was pleased with that. So I've come to this other woods. Not for seps because I've never found them here. It's not to say they don't grow here, because they might, to be fair. I've just found a fly garrick just down there, and I think I've mentioned before that they both grow in similar environments, habitats. So there's always a chance. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for chanterelles, winter chanterelles, and highly unlikely, but the black trumpets, or trumpets of death. I know they grow here, but I think we might be a little bit out of season. But the way this year's been, anything could happen, to be fair. So I'm going to keep looking, and I'll switch back on in a minute, or whenever I come across something worth showing you. Well, not quite a sep, but you know, almost the next best thing. Little babe elite, just growing off the side of the path there. Yeah, he's only a little tiddler, but really nice condition. Yeah, so I'm going to take him. And there's another belly here, and that looks like probably one of the Xerocamelus species, which, to be honest, they are edible, but I just tend not to bother with them because the texture's a bit shit. Kind of like eating slugs, really. So fuck them. But yeah, I'll take the bay. Oh, I'll drop him. Oh, I think there's another one over there as well. Little tiny one. But yeah, I'm going to take this little guy. Lovely, babe elite, Imlaria badia. This rather pretty little mushroom is a false death cat, Amanita citrina. It's not really showing up on the video, but it's got a really kind of, I don't know if you can see on this one, it's kind of like a really kind of pale lemony sort of colour to it, and you can see the sort of the veil fragments that are still on the cap there, and that's one of the sort of main distinguishing features between the real death cap and this one, which is the false death cap. The real one has like a more of an olive greenish sort of tinge to the cap, and doesn't normally have sort of veil fragments attached to it, and it's normally has, I think it has more of a white stem with some sort of little scaly kind of lines on it. But no, this is a false death cap anyway, and it's not poisonous. But why? Yeah, what? Yeah, just don't fucking eat them. No point. Annoyingly, this one is actually a false death cap as well, except this one's white. So I'll have to eat my fucking words. But this one is a variation called Alba, I believe. So it's exactly the same, except it's just it's a much paler colour than the standard kind of pale lemony, sort of yellowish colour of the normal one. I think I'm right in saying that. Obviously, if I'm wrong, someone can always tell me in the comments, I suppose, if you really want to. So I came looking for some chanterelles, and there aren't fucking any, none. Bare as baby's arse. So yeah, that's disappointing. I was hoping to maybe find a couple, but to be fair, on balance, it kind of swings and roundabouts, because last year I did pretty well with chanterelles, but seps were just, it was a shit year for seps. It was fucking, I think I've managed to grab like a handful, if that, throughout the entire sort of autumn season. But I did really well with chanterelles. I found a fantastic patch of those, and they are one of just the nicest mushrooms to eat that there is. They're just so good. They're so good. Beautiful gold colour, and you know when you see them, it's like fucking yes. Like, I couldn't believe it. But anyway, so what I'm saying is, perhaps you get a good year for seps, not so for chanterelles, or it could go the other way. So I'm not really complaining, because I've had my fair share of seps and other boletes so far this year. But yeah, shame not to see any. But I'm going to keep looking. Hang on a second. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not even in focus. Can't really fucking tell. They're sulphur tufts, and they grow everywhere. You can't go anywhere without seeing those, and they're quite striking. That real sort of bold sulphur yellow colour. Shame you can't eat them really, because they're fucking everywhere all the time. But yeah, they're poisonous, so don't eat them, will you? Because they could cause you some serious problems if you do. So, but anyway, onwards and upwards. I'll see if there's anything else I can find while I'm here. And sometimes, if you look closely, and you know you've got your glasses on, you can sometimes find this little dude, which is the yellow stag's horn fungus. And he's generally pretty tiny, but he's got this beautiful bright yellow colour. And yeah, I'm always quite happy to come across these, because they're so cool looking. And they just sort of pop up out of the ground. It's tiny. It was no more than half an inch high, this one. But yeah, cool little fungus. Not an awful lot here today, truth be told. Certainly for the dinner table anyway. I mean, there's plenty of mushrooms everywhere, obviously, of course there always is, but most of those aren't edible, as far as I know. And if I don't know what they are, I tend just not to bother. Safest way, innit? But yeah, no chanterelles, which I was hoping for. And the winter chanterelles haven't even started pinning yet, so which I thought they might have done, because I found some in the other place, but obviously they're just round the corner, but just not yet. But I'm going to keep, I'm going to have one more little trek round and see if I can pick up anything else. I've got a few bay boletes and a nice healthy looking blusher, which is another favourite, so that was good. But other than that, pretty bleak up here today, so wish me luck, and I'll come back if I've got any more. This handsome guy is always worth a mention. This is the tawny grisette, or Amanita fulva, and he's an edible Amanita, obviously in the same family as the death cap and some other pretty nasty ones, destroying angel, panther cap, but he's edible. And yeah, very tall, this one, a little bit nibbled, but yeah, that'll do to go into a mushroom mix, I suppose. So I'm going to bag him. You can identify this one pretty easily, or distinguish it from the dangerous ones, because there's no skirt on there at all. He's got these obvious sort of pleated sort of striation marks on the cap, and the cap is obviously like a tawny brownish colour, and that is the tawny grisette. I think I'm probably going to wrap it up here pretty much, but just thought I'd just show you this beautiful mushroom that I've just spotted on the way out. This is the magpie ink cap, and yeah, it's always really nice to find these because they're so striking. And there's another one just behind where you can see the cap starting to open out, and I just sort of curl up a little bit at the edges. But what will happen over the next day or so is that will all just turn into a black inky mess. But yeah, always cool to see these. Yeah, magpie ink caps. So that's that. That's today's foraging journey over. I think on the whole, I think the season is starting to wrap up. I mean, I've obviously bagged a few decent mushrooms today still. So you know, there is still time, I think. But yeah, you can feel the change in what you're sort of seeing on the ground.
sulphur tufts are everywhere. I mean, they're quite prevalent most of the year anyway, but especially during the winter time, or when it starts to get into winter, they're just, oh my god, they're just everywhere. A bit like brown rollworms were a couple of weeks ago. Things, I ate them. But yeah, and no trumpets of death either, which is a shame. I was really hoping to bag some of those, but it wasn't to be. But anyway, till next time, yeah, keep foraging, fuckers.